If someone hits you on one cheek, show them the other. This is one of the statements said by Gandhi during the fight with British. And most of the Indians follow this idea to their core. And you might also be knowing because this particular statement has been taught to us even in our schools. And there is a philosophy behind it. It's called Ahimsa. And they famously call it as Gandhian ideology. But this concept called Ahimsa is completely different that we understand now. And the one that we understand now, which was mostly proposed by Gandhi, and the true traditional sense of Ahimsa, which is described in our scriptures. There is a difference between these two, and that difference is not tiny, it's vast. So basically, we are misunderstanding the meaning of Ahimsa, and as a result, we are suffering in many ways. And that's why in this episode of Reprogrammed, I'm going to take this concept and dissect it in depth and put out a true and logical version in front of you. Most of the Indians understand Ahimsa as not hitting back even when someone hits you. And they think that they are following Ahimsa and they even take pride in it of not hitting back. But let me make this clear. This statement was not said by Gandhi. It actually was told by Jesus in the New Testament. If someone wants to refer it, you can find that in Matthew. And Mr. Gandhi was influenced by it and used to quote Jesus often. So right now you understand. The concept of non-violence by Gandhi is taken from Jesus, not our traditional scriptures. And now because of it, all we think that Ahimsa is simply non-violence. And we become pushovers, have no boundaries, and we keep being repressed in ourselves. And this exact idea is doing us more harm than we can imagine. And that is the exact reason why I don't agree with the concept of Ahimsa that we understand now, especially the Gandhian ideology. Because even in our scriptures, it is said Ahimsa Paramo Dharma, which literally translates to non-violence is the highest form of duty. And why am I saying that it is wrong? And to understand it, we have to go in much deeper and understand what is the true meaning of Ahimsa and how deep this concept is. So here's the thing, that this concept Ahimsa is not just said by Gandhi and he is the originator of it. It's actually found even in Rig Veda. It is the oldest scripture of all time and Ahimsa is mentioned even in that. And it is one of the core concepts of Buddhism and Jainism. And not only that, it's even one of the core principles in yogic philosophies. And the term Ahimsa simply means non-harm. But there is a lot of depth to it. To start with, this has 3 dimensions. And what are these 3 dimensions? You need to apply Ahimsa through Manasa, Vacha and Karmana. That simply means your thoughts, words and your actions should follow this principle of Ahimsa. And also it applies in 2 directions, which is towards everyone and to yourself. Now listen carefully, this is where most people get it wrong and only has half the concept of it. Because currently we understand that don't cause harm to others. And we understand it is only a physical harm. But the full concept says don't harm others in thought, means you should not hold hatred inside you. Don't speak ill to others, means don't use language as a weapon. And don't do harm to others, which is clearly what you understand until now. And also equally, you should not cause harm to yourself through thoughts, words. That means no chronic self-criticism, no self-loathing, no negative self-talk that runs on a loop. I mean, you can see many people talk bad about themselves just to please others. They keep making fun of themselves to make others feel good or make others to laugh. That should not be done. And the main thing, don't cause harm to yourself in action. I mean, you should not overwork yourself. That you should not cause overly pain to your body. You should not eat heavily, that it feels like your stomach is bursting. All of those things considered under violence upon yourself. And you should not do it. Now here's the part I want you guys to really understand it, because nobody else might have taught you about it. And even when others are causing harm to you, and if you have the power to stop it and you choose not to, is also a violation of Ahimsa, because you are allowing violence to happen upon yourself. And let that sink in for a moment. And showing your other cheek is not truly Ahimsa. That means having strong boundaries, and even if necessary to establish peace for a moment, even if you use violence, that is also Ahimsa. Let me explain why. Now if you want to think about a mental image that India signals to the world is of sage, because we talk about the good side of India, the world sees as someone doing meditation, yoga, someone stretching, talking very calmly, So now what is the negative aspect of it? They think that we are pushovers. We don't have a clear boundaries. We are only soft. We can't be dominating. Is what the perception of it is. Now I just said that this is a half-baked concept. Why is that? Because we know that Ahimsa Paramo Dharma is the statement that we keep on hearing. We saw it in many movies and it is what is being taught to us. But there is an other part to it. And it's not the full statement actually. Because in Mahabharata, in two Parvas, this particular statement is said in full. And it goes on like this. Ahimsa Paramo Dharma, Dharma Himsa Tataiva Cha. It literally translates to non-violence is the highest duty. And so too is violence in the service of Dharma. Yes, this is what the second part actually is. So what exactly it says is, you can use violence to establish dharma, and that is also an ahimsa. So I hope now you understand that ahimsa is not just absorbing others' hits, it's also hitting back when others try to harm you. So basically, you yourself should not cause harm to others out of ego, greed, and anger. Remember that. And this exact truncation of second part, and we following the Gandhian ideology and overly revering Gandhi is what led to us being weak and emasculated men, mainly Hindu men. Why I'm saying this? Because in his last trial, Godse, when he killed Gandhi, said the following.
I firmly believe that the teachings of absolute ahimsa as advocated by Gandhiji would ultimately result in the emasculation of Hindu community and make the community incapable of resisting the aggression of other communities.
I hope at least now you get what I'm saying. Until now, we were being taught and it was deliberate. It did not occur naturally. The first part only became a cultural slogan. I'm repeating again. The first part of Ahimsa Paramo Dharma became a cultural slogan. And the second part, like I said, it was truncated. Now, this is where I'm connecting philosophy to the real life. When you repeatedly thought that your anger is wrong, asserting yourself is aggression, and enduring mistreatment is virtue. And here is exactly what happens inside you physiologically. By suppressing your emotions internally and not feeling it and not expressing it is actually harmful to your body because it activates the stress inside you and your cortisol will increase drastically. And also, there is a psychological harm to it. Now, see, when a person repeatedly faces the negative emotions inside him and he does not express it, he will learn helplessness because he understands that no one is there to help me and I myself don't know how to do it. And because of that learned helplessness, that person cannot solve problems, cannot stand up for himself, will have weak boundaries, will have weak mind, will be emotionally very volatile, and this person seeks approval from others constantly. And you can see this particular validation seeking is very high in Indians. We constantly compare ourselves and we always wait and dread for Westerners' validation. And that is not exactly your fault. You are trained like that, mainly by misrepresenting many of these kind of concepts, and we're being taught to us to just satisfy a particular agenda or to satisfy or please a particular kind of people. And also the education system, which is also being written and the syllabus is being made by certain kind of people. Because just on a side note, let me tell you what you read in your school, mainly the history. Always someone has come into your country and ruled over you, like Mughals and Britishers, for hundreds and hundreds of years. And the part conveniently was omitted that you were revolting all along, that there are many kings and warriors in your clan, in your bloodline, in your culture. Because think for a second, many great cultures like Egyptian, Roman, okay, Greece, all of these things are not there now. The language, the culture, everything is being buried and some other ideologies occupied it. But the only Bharatiya culture, I mean Sanatana Dharma, only prevailed. Now there has to be something right that we are doing right. And if we are learning all the wrong things and half-baked things, we'll be suffering like how we are suffering right now. So what we should do right now is to trash the agendas that are aimed at us and should follow and understand our scriptures and what exactly they are telling. And if it's wrong and does not make sense for this particular time period, we can avoid it. But the true concept should be understood from our original scriptures. And related to this concept of ahimsa, to complete it completely, we need to look at our warriors even. Many of them followed ahimsa, like our Kshatriya clan, okay, Rajputs, and even Sikhs have this concept of Sant and Sipahi, which literally means sage and warrior. Means there is a personality of sage and a warrior inside the same person. Means you know how to be calm, you're knowledgeable, and you can read scriptures and understand it. And if time comes, you can even pick up the weapon and be violent to establish your dharma, to stand your ground, to establish clear boundaries. That is what we should aim for. A warrior monk. And the main thing, and how can we forget this? Our epic Mahabharata. We have Krishna and many other warriors. Krishna himself said that Ahimsa Paramo Dharma. At the same time he told Arjuna to have a clarity, to leave all his confusion aside and to fight and try to establish Dharma. A true warrior monk is capable of following Ahimsa to the T. So I call on you guys, let's build this mindset together. And that's what this series, Reprogrammed, is for.